You.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Cream City Curveball. I'm your main man, Justin, down here in hot North Carolina.
And Pipe, I'm here in the good land.
The good land, man. I always loves when he says a good land, man. Great to be back with you, Pipe. Feel like we missed a lot. So speaking of missing a lot, Pat Murphy, think he signed up for a new job. Do you agree?
What job is that?
He's the official punter for the Milwaukee Brewers. You talk about punt a series. Holy dirty midget balls. He punted that series. Can we say midget, little people, whatever it is? We're not trying to offend anyone, but they're not the Giants. They're the opposite of it. Pat Murphy. Who did he start again in the last game, Pipe?
Panone.
Who knows who Panone is? I don't know.
Nobody.
What would The Rock say? It doesn't matter what your name. I mean, God, I'm going to just say it, damn it. I feel like we gave up about as many points as the San Francisco Giants would score against the Green Bay Packers' great defense. What was it, 16-3, 17-3? We had Andrew Vaughn get hit in the head. I mean, we go out to the West Coast, and it's like we crap in our pants, dirty diarrhea diapers. I was pissed watching the end of that series, watching Game 1, watching Game 7, Game 3, whatever you want to call it, Pipe. I'm all over the place again because I'm just so pissed off about losing to the most mediocre, tall team ever.
You know, you sit there and it's a good call about Murphy being a punter because win tonight is over. You start a dude named Thomas Panone, who his mother doesn't even know who he is.
Uh-oh.
And he comes up here and you start him and you give Contreras the day off and he's throwing to Gary Sanchez. Now, no shade on Sanchez, veteran, ideal backup catcher, insert whatever kind of praise you want to throw at slow old Gary.
You insert that praise. I won't.
You know, that's great. But, you know, Gary's been there. He's done that. Panone ain't the first nobody pitcher he's had throw to him before. But really, you couldn't even give him freaking Contreras to throw to. So, you know, there's a total punt job on that game, man. Good call on you.
Yeah, man. And look, man, we love you, Pat Murphy. Pipe Bomb loves you, Gary Sanchez. You're like
He's all right.
you're a step parent where you love them, but sometimes they just piss you off, and that's what Gary Sanchez does to me, man. He frustrates me. Pat Murphy frustrates me too. But listen, like let's be crystal clear about one thing, at least from my seat. I do not know more about baseball than Pat Murphy. I do not understand his rhyme or his reason, and I hope I can shake his hand in the parade and say, "Hey, Pat, I dissed you a couple times this year. It's your main man, Justin from North Carolina, and I was absolutely wrong." And I think he would tell me to go F myself, and he knew I was wrong when I dissed him. And that's okay, because that's the type of guy that Pat Murphy is. But he is the best manager in all of baseball. So I want to make sure we're crystal clear, because sometimes people hear things and they're like, man, what are these dudes talking about? Listen, if you want X's and O's, if you want this prolific tape, what's my guy's name? Hunter Baumgartner, Tommy Wirtz. What's my draft guy name? Dan?
Dave Gasper.
Dave
Oh,
Gasper.
Dan Zielinski.
I can't pronounce a ski because the Polish folks won't let me in the club yet. You know, these selfish Orlovskis, Adam Sheskis, Zelinskis, all the skis are a family. That's where the real money is in America. Don't get it twisted anywhere else. It's all about them skis. Like Young Thug said, ski, whoop, ski, whoop. I think that's what he said. I don't know. Now I'm showing myself to be somebody Papa J. Pipe out, how many Young Thug songs you know off the top of your head?
Oh man, there's got to be probably, man. Let me try to count. Now I don't know any of them, but I do know some skis. I know a Mizorowski.
Yeah.
I know a lot of skis up in my neck of the woods. But you know, of course, man, we got to stick together. That's family right there. You know, you hear all the time about Black Twitter. We need ski Twitter. So you know, got our own little private club right there.
A lot of black people watching. Pipe Bob is a full proponent of black people, and he loves black people. Just so you don't get it misconstrued, because we know how people like to chop things up and put a clip. Pipe Bomb loves the brothers, man. That's why he's here with me, man. And he may not know any Young Thug, but when that 8 comes on, he knows to put that Young Jeezy the Snowman on. Ain't that right, Pipe?
I don't know what any of that means, but you want to kick it old school with some NWA, some Eazy-E, some stuff like that. Now you're talking. Now you're speaking my language. I know that.
So we've just learned about Pipe Bomb because y'all gonna continue to learn stuff about us. Like you learned that Pipe Bomb doesn't like the color pink. Pipe Bomb doesn't like to get pedicures. Pipe Bomb, and that's what's so dope about this podcast. He is like the antonym of everything that I am, and we still do a great job here. At least we think we do. Hopefully you all think we do too, right? Pipe Bomb, when we gonna get you in that pink shirt and go get that manicure, my brother?
That ain't never gonna happen, man. I choose to hold on to my man card. So yeah, that there's some things I don't do. That's 2 of them.
Yeah, we might have to get a little wager going on at some point, man. Brewers win the World Series. Pipe Bombs at the manicure chair with me or something like that, man. Welcome to Cream City Curveball, sponsored by Metrosexuals.com. And Real Men Read and Pipe Bomb, man. Be out of pocket already. All right, man, let's get to Tariq Skubal, man. Tariq, brother Tariq. You ever watch that show with Kanan, 50 Cent, and Tariq was his son? And, you know, that's a bad name for a lot of people that watch... man, I can't even remember the name of it. I know it's Chasing Kanan. Power. Power was the original show. You ever watch any Power, Pipe Bomb? That's not your team.
I didn't. It looked good, though. I don't know why I never started watching that one.
Yeah, sorry, man. You watching too much Big Brother and being anti-peak. You can't get into you can't get into too many shows, man. It's levels. But anyways,
Big
man,
Brother's great, man. 3 nights a week that stuff's on in the summer. Hell yeah, sign me up. And it's been great so far this season.
So is it you and your daughter? I'm sure my daughter's like, you watch any of that Love Island BS or no?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No, I've seen some of the Love Island people on like that show Traders. There was some Love Island people on there, but yeah, I've never seen an episode of it.
Hey, real quick, one more thing. We're so out of pocket right now. We're so off the. If this bitch is off the tracks, we might as well just keep kicking the fat bitch further off the tracks. That's what I say. We about to get fired.
You're the boss, so we ain't getting fired.
What did you ever watch any of that with Big Brother came to the real world challenge stuff? What would they call that? The challenge? You watch any of that stuff?
I did back in the day. I haven't watched that in years. But, yeah, back when Trishelle and CT and all those people was on it all the time, Johnny Bananas and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I watched a few seasons of that show for sure.
You know, at the end, they had your Big Brother brothers and sisters come on there, man. Just wanted to know what you thought about that. I don't know why we're thinking about that. We need to be talking about Tariq Skubal, Screwball, Skee-Ball, whatever you want to call him, man. That brother over there. So what I want to ask you, Pipe, is what in the minor league system are you willing to give up for him, and what are you willing not to? And before I let you go, let me preface it, give you a little bit of background information, man. Christian Yelich was traded for Monte Harrison, Jordan Yamamoto, and I can't remember the third guy. But none of those brothers are in baseball anymore. Monte's playing football. Then we look at the CC Sabathia trade. The only dude that kind of hit, what was that dude's name? Oh, man, I just forgot it. Gosh, Johnny, he was a player to be named later. Brantley? Was it Brantley? Is that what I'm remembering right? So you had 1 out of 4 of the prospects hit for that. So what are you willing to touch? What are you willing not to touch for Screwball? We're going to call him Screwball until he gets in the Brewers uniform. Is that okay with you, my brother?
Yeah, of course, man. Call him whatever the hell you want. I'm hoping that we don't call him a Brewer. I don't want him.
Okay.
To sit there and give up everything that the Brewers are going to have to give up to get him, whether it's a Luis Lara, it's going to take a good one. It's going to take a Jesus Made. It's going to take a Luis Lara. It's going to take one or two of like these top handful of dudes for a rental. Really? And then, okay, so pencil Screwball into the rotation here. And so, hypothetically, we go into a Dodgers series with a rotation of Mizorowski, Screwball, and Harrison. Harrison slash Henderson, guess what? We're still not favored to win that freaking series. So we're going to give up all this shit and still be the underdog, still have to go up against that lineup. And you know what? We're supposed to walk in there like we're top shit and like, we're going to sit there and roll over these guys? Come on, man. I don't see it. Am I saying not to do any moves? Because I don't think it matters who the Brewers picked up, unless they did like maybe screwball and they got both them dudes from the Nationals and stuff, But the chances
TJ
of that,
Abrams and James Wood.
yeah, the chances of that happening is zero. But okay, so say everything comes together. You get Wood, you get Abrams, you get Screwball, you get Luis Ariz. Are you the favorite to beat LA now? No, but it gets closer. But that's four dudes. You're going to have no farm system left, and you're still not at the same level. You're still playing from behind a little bit. So, I would rather not sit there and do anything crazy and unload four dudes, five dudes for a rental that, come on, man. But that's just me.
Yeah, I think I read some reports that said that James Wood and CJ Abrams are not on the trading block allegedly, but the right offer could bring something to fruition here. I kind of agree with you with Screwball, man. I don't think that he's enough Screwball, Shukabuka ball, whatever you want to call him, Yahtzee ball, whatever it is. Look, man, I'm not saying the guy's not a great pitcher. He's a phenomenal pitcher. He's absolutely is kind of similar to what Mizorowski was for the NL, for the AL. However, he's already said he wants to go to the Los Angeles Dodgers if he had his ideal choice. He's a NorCal kid, so I don't think we have much chance of keeping him. I read another article that came out that said that he would be interested, that the Brewers would be willing to pay him $32 million a year to keep him, allegedly. I'm just not there, bro. I don't want to give up Jesus Made. I do not want to give up Frias. I do not want to give up Andrew Fisher. And I do not want to give up, and we know, we talk about this all the time. I'm biased to these kids. I didn't want to give up Yo Ferry, right? I do not want to give up, what's my guy's name?
Fielder.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We got to get to that in a second, dude. I don't want to give up Braylon Payne or Adam Shesky. I don't want to give up any of these guys. And I know you got to give to get, and I understand that. I'd be much more excited with a Freddie Peralta and, what's his name, Luke Weaver? Is that their reliever that's the only good pitcher they have? The New York Mets? I think you're going to run into some trouble if you bring in Freddie Peralta. Then you're going to have to make David Stearns wear the pie on his face. And I don't know if the Milwaukee Brewers or Matt Arnold want to do that because we still got a decent relationship with them, right?
Yeah, you would think. Do I think that Arnold and the Brewers organization care what Stearns looks like right now? No, because everybody in baseball knows he's getting filleted in New York right now, and everybody there wants to dump his ass. So I'm not sure how doing anything is going to make him look worse. His record is his record. There's nothing else to really say.
What'd you
He
say?
sucked.
What did they want? They want to dump him?
They want to fillet that sucker, man, and get him the hell out of town.
Hey,
and,
so dumping this brother, take y'all down a wild rabbit hole. Right? That's like, man, you got the big joint, right? You know she's big when you started dating her, and it's okay if that's what you like. Pipe Bomb's wife is a supermodel, smoke show, finito level. I like the big joints, but I can't sit there and be like, hey, Pipe Bomb has a supermodel wife over there now, so now I want the supermodel. No, I chose to get down with the big joint. So she's at Planet Fitness right now. She's working. She's getting there. She's going to be a smoke show in about 6 to 8 months, but it takes time. And what I'm saying with David Stearns, that's a crazy analogy, by the way, but it's going to take time. The joint is still fat. She don't know how to wear her makeup. She doesn't know how to go get the pedicure. She's clipping her own toenails with pipe over there. She going to be a smoke show. Your wife go get pedicures, bro?
no. How much time does this brother need? David Stearns hasn't been out there 6 months. He's been out there for years now. And that team has sold off and rebuilt at this will be what, the second or third time that they are massively unloading at the trade deadline during the David Stearns era because they are not successful. That is not a successful team. He wanted to go to his team, check. He wanted to go to a team with deep ass pockets, check.
Check.
And there's no other way to say it besides he's failed miserably. That team is terrible. And for whatever reason, obviously he brings in the star players and these guys don't sit there. They haven't been they haven't been playing up to what the back of their baseball card says. You know,
Shout out
you
to
want
Tim Allen.
yeah, of course that's his saying there. You want to sit there and magically blame that on Stearns? Yeah, the buck stops with him. So I don't know if it's some kind of dark cloud that hangs over. Maybe it's because they play in Flushing, New York. What else
Bless him.
flushes? That's David Stern's good name, man, because he had it good here. He did a great job when he was with the Brewers. He leaves for the big town, big bright lights, big money, and he's got nothing to show for it.
Boy, I think you've been watching Power. That's the song on the beginning. Bright Lights, Big Money. That's a song. I think 50 Cent actually wrote it too. It's a pretty dope song, man. Give it a listen when you get a chance. I want to give Sparky a little bit of credit, and I'm going to ask you the same question that I posed to that gentleman last week, that I posed to Tim Allen last week. So Sparky is the one that kind of, when he explained it to me, when I asked him this question, he said, you got to give him some time because what he's trying to do is rebuild that entire minor league system. And I'm going to tell you something, Pipe. The only thing that minor league system had going for him is bringing Darryl Strawberry to Charlotte, North Carolina to do a meet and greet when they played the Charlotte Knights, because their minor league system is pretty god-awful right now, man. That's where I got the time thing from. I do think you need to give him some time. So I asked Sparky, Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, doing it right now with the post-game show with Timmy Allen. I asked both of these gentlemen. So do you think that the credit for what was built here in Milwaukee, a lot of it should go to Matt Arnold and not go to David Stearns? Or where you at with Stearns with his Milwaukee tenure?
No, I think that's ridiculous. I think that Stearns definitely deserves the credit for what he was able to do when he was here. I don't think that, and I heard that, when you asked him that, and I definitely disagree with what Sparky said. He said that he thinks that Arnold was, played a very impactful role behind the scenes, and maybe he did. We'll never know, but I'm not going to take any credit away from David Stearns. I thought that during the Stearns era, there was a time where we thought that Mark Ananasio was a meddling owner, and that Mark was sitting there and trying to put his thumb on the scales of the baseball ops on who you picked up, who you signed, who you extended, who you brought up from the minors, and all this kind of stuff. And I can't remember exactly what move it was, but it was during the Stearns era where Stearns wanted one thing, Mark wanted something else, and Stearns came out on top. And ever since then, the Brewers have missed the playoffs, once? It's just they've been an absolute juggernaut getting to the postseason and having, sometimes postseason success, making it to the NLCS a couple times and stuff like that. But, there was a showdown between Mark and David Stearns, and Stearns came out on top, and it was for the betterment of the Brewers then, and it's for the betterment of them every day since then.
Maybe Stearns just needs one of these big boys for the team out there in New York so they could catch something, man, because these boys couldn't catch a cold butt naked on Lake Michigan right now. Let's keep it right here with Sparky for a second, man. Sparky and Charlie Utzon. I think I said the name right, man. But if I didn't, him too. They had a question today on their show. I thought it was a great question to bring to our show. And, I want to give credit where credit's due, because one thing that Pipe and I just don't do, we don't steal stuff and try to make it seem like our own. We ain't the smartest guy in the room. But if we hear something good, we gonna give you credit. We gonna bring it right here. Cream City curveball, live and in the flesh. Let me get my curveball. Fumble it. We still there. Anyways, so I fumbled it now, so we can't do any more curveballs. Sparky asked the question: Who's off the table trade deadline for the major league roster for you? Everybody on the major on your 40. Who do you have off? So I'll go because this is another curveball. And if you haven't been here in the Cream City curveball, this is why we call it that. Because I throw a bunch of curveballs at Pipe, and he's like, sugar, honey, iced tea. You could have gave me a little bit of warning before I answer that. So I'm going to say for me, left field, Jackson Churio's off the market for me. Can't trade that brother. Cannot trade Garrett Mitchell right now. I've seen too much promise for him. Can't go. Luis Lara cannot go for me. Right field, Sal Freeland could go, though. Fan favorite. He could definitely go. First base, I'm going to say right now, what do we have control over Bowers and Vaughn, both of them, or no? Bowers is contract year, I believe, correct?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
So I'm going to say that either one of them can go. Bryce Terang, big dog Terang can't go anywhere. What about Shohei Ohtani?
Oh, please.
All right, we'll move on. Third base, I think you already know with David Hamilton, he can go, he can whatever. With me, we're not saying these guys haven't been massive contributors. I don't even know where my Joey Ortiz bat is anymore, but I think we've kind of moved him up to mediocre, on his way to great things. Hate to say it, Christian can go too, and I love Christian Yelich. I think you do too, but if you could get someone to take that contract off your hands and you can let Bowers or Andrew Vaughn or Gary Sanchez, someone else take over that DH position and William Contreras a little bit more, I think that might help the baseball team a lot more. Lastly, William Contreras cannot go. Gary Sanchez, he can go. Pitching-wise, I think it's pretty obvious. Mizorowski, Logan Henderson, Harrison. You got to give me something really sexy back on that. Like if I'm trading you your level of wife for Beyonce, I need Halle Berry in her prime back is what I'm trying to tell you. Abner Uribe's another one for me. And that may be about it for me. I know it's half the effing team.
Yeah, my untouchables on this team is Churio and Mizorowski, and I want to say that's it. Well, and Contreras, if you plan on making him a competitive offer to try to get him to stay long term, which I think the Brewers should do. I think that we've all seen how amazing he is, both behind the plate, at the plate. All the guys respect him in the clubhouse. Me and Tim, when we were down at spring training a couple years ago, every single person in that clubhouse was raving that Contreras is the hardest worker on the team and everything like that. So, there's no problems with Contreras. So I would have him as untouchable if the Brewers planned on making a legitimate effort to re-sign him. But if they're not going to do that, then my only two is Miz and Churio, man, and everybody else is up for grabs. I don't care, as long as it makes sense. Terang? Yeah, because Terang's, to sit there and give credit where it is. Sparky and Tim were talking about this yesterday. Next year's Terang's last year anyway. So, and it might only be half a year, depending on what happens come trade deadline. Because as soon as Jesus Made is able, ready and able to come up here, it's going to be Jesus's position. You're not going to be able to afford Bryce Terang, being a poverty franchise. So we all know he's out the door, and you want to sit there, the more years of control that you're trying to trade him away for because you have the next up-and-comer coming up, the bigger the return. So, Terang is somebody you want to sit there, and it sucks because he's good. We, look at what his bat has been. Just completely, it's blown me away. I didn't expect to get this kind of production from him at the plate. You knew the glove was there all along. but he's just been awesome with the stick, and so it's gonna suck to see him leave, but the return on him is just gonna be sick, and so in the long run. Terang's got what, less than a year and a half to go before his Milwaukee tenure is done anyway.
Allegedly. And the only reason why I'll pause you or I'll push back on you is we don't know what the hell's going to go on with this CBA agreement and stuff like that. So what I do if I'm Mark Antonaggio, Matt Arnold, and if I am, I mean, it's the reason why I work in the veterinary industry, right? It's the reason why there's professional radio dudes like Jeff Orlowski. Put Pipe Bomb back on somebody's station. The hell we doing anyways? Put this dude on the post-game show. Put him on the pre-game show. Put him on the during show. He just needs to be somewhere. Free the goddamn Pipe Bomb is what I'm trying to tell you. Anyways, Pipe, what I'm going to push back on you with is the fact that we don't know what this salary cap, salary floor thing will do. If I'm the Milwaukee Brewers right now, I go up to William Contreras. That Brinks truck, it's yours right now. You sign now because you may not get that same offer next year. Same thing with Bryce Terang. I'm going to move Jesus made your words. Jesus my day, my words. Call him what you want to call him, but call him your starting shortstop for the future. Third base, I'm going to have Luis Pena go there. It's tough, though, because then you still got Burke, you still got Wilkin, you got all these other guys. You got a lot of dogs, which is why shout out to our mascot of our Cream City Curveball. What's the cat's name, brother?
That's Meeps, man.
Meeps don't give a damn if it's a show, if it's not the show. This is his show, and he runs it. So anyways, that's our official Cream City Curveball mascot. By the way, if you're in the veterinary industry, you want to sponsor the show, we'll take that. But we don't know what the salary cap will be. We don't know what these guys will be. I give them a fair offer right now, tell them both to stay. Are you against that, or what do you think?
No, I'm definitely not against it, but I just don't think it'll happen. I do think that, there is a way that the Brewers can afford to keep Contreras. I don't think there's a way that they can afford to keep Terang. His position is too important, and obviously catcher is the most important position on the field, besides probably starting pitcher. But second base is up there too. And the second base position is too important. Terang is too good and has a lot of future left in him. So there's no way that the Brewers are going to be able to afford him. So, it sucks, but that's the reality of living here, which is why, again, another reason why to sit there and trade a lot of these dudes for a freaking rental and screwball, to me, doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Completely misspoke as well. Completely forgot about Cooper Pratt. So don't kill me in the comments, man. I know y'all like to do that a lot on Cream City Crossover and other shows that we do, Cream City Chalk Talk as well. Cream City Media Group, we do it big and we get kind of crazy with it from time to time.
Yeah, but you're not saying that Cooper Pratt's untouchable, are you?
No, I'm not saying he's not untouchable. But
okay.
When I talked about moving Madeda, so when you look at it like that, if you think that Jesus is going to be that, and I think he's going to be that. You think he's going to be that. I mean, unfortunately for Bryce, it just sucks, man. But he's a hell of a Brewer, and he's a hell of a dude, man. And I'd love to keep him here, but I agree with you. You got to keep William Contreras. I don't give a damn about Jefferson Quiero. I probably said that wrong. And I don't care about Dingus or Dingers or Dingy and the minor league. And it's not that we don't give a damn about who you are. I just don't think you bring what William Contreras brings. He is the best catcher pound for pound, defensively and offensively. He's way better than his sorry-ass brother. Guess we'll never get William on. Who cares? But I'm just, you got to get, if you had to choose between the two, let me ask you that. That's what I'm kind of framing this up to you, Pipe. I go William. Where do you go if you got to choose one of them?
It's tough because Wilson has a ring.
No. Sorry, William or Bryce Terang. If you can only sign one, my bad. F Wilson.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would go with Contreras, man. Wild Bill. Like I said, second base is hugely important. Defense has been what this team has been based on and been successful being based around for a long time, pitching and defense. And Terang definitely fills that role in spades. But I'd give me some Wild Bill. The way he controls the pitching staff, his production at the plate, everything like that. There's very, very little for me to complain about. if when you look at what we've been complaining about with Wild Bill, the only thing was when he was tried to play 3/4 of a season with a broken thumb. And oh well, his production at the play. The freaking dude is playing with a broken thumb on his catching hand, and he's catching Miz and stuff. Like, come on. So he's tough as nails. The dude wants to be back there. 162. He's everything you want in a teammate, in a baseball player. So, yeah, man, if you're making me choose between basically Contreras or anybody, I'm choosing Contreras.
Make sure you subscribe on YouTube at City Cream 1970, Cream City Curve. Just type in Cream City Curveball. All our social medias will come up. Facebook. We got an Instagram out here. We got a Twitter. Interact with us all the time, man. I guess my interactive question I'm going to ask you this a pipe. Does William Contreras get pedicures and manicures? I want to know. At Cream City Curveball. Google it. Let us know.
I bet he does.
Hey, man. Pipe. Tried to tell you. You might get you a little pedicure or manicure. That's a good date night with you and Mrs. Olaski, Mrs. Pipe Bomb. The real means to the madness on this show, man. But we'll get to that at another time. So, shout out to the Fox Valley. Real quick, if you got any extra coins, dollars, please send some help up to them. If you cannot physically afford to do it, we get it. Send some prayers, send some well wishes. Fox Valley's really going through it right now. Speaking of the Fox Valley, our boy Kyle Harrison pitched in a 9-2-0 last night. Healthy start, 5 innings, nothing give up. What do you want to see from Kyle Harrison? What are you expecting for Harrison as far as health-wise going forth with the rest of this year?
I think he's going to be fine. I didn't buy that there was really anything wrong with him when he got put on the IL. I thought it was to try to save his arm, save his innings. I still think that. So, he should sit there and, supposedly he's going to pitch on Wednesday against the Pirates. That's, at least according to baseball probables. But I think he's going to be fine. We'll see. That's the one concern is the amount of innings, because if you look overall at our rotation, it's crazy young. Crazy young. Miz, a baby. Harrison, a baby. Henderson, a baby. So Gasser.
Where are veterans?
They're all hurt. Judas Priester, Woody, all the veterans are down. It's just the little babies that are up now. And, you're going to have to sit there and watch their innings. I think that's why the Thomas Calzone sat there and pitched in that blowout loss. Would have been better if he was a Calzone. At least those taste okay. Hey, have you ever had, speaking of, since you just made me hungry here, I'm not a big fan of calzones, okay? But what I love, and I haven't been able to find since I moved out of Illinois and moved up here, is a legit panzerotti. Have you ever had one of those?
Back in the day, for sure. But, you're asking a resident carb counter pescatarian. So.
Well, you can get it just with cheese on it, you know what I mean? Or maybe they could throw in a fish taco in that sucker. But, panzerotti, which is like a calzone, it's like a pizza folded in half and then deep fried, but it's got the sauce in it where a calzone is baked and has sauce on the side. This is deep fried with the sauce in it. Oh, yeah, legit. Any of you people that are listening, watching, whatever, if you know where to get a good panzo, hit us up in the comments, hit me up on a Twitter machine, and let me know, because this fat man misses eating on those for sure.
Yeah, hopefully Dr. McNeil and Dr. Segala are definitely taking it out for this, my endocrinologist and my primary doctor, because they're like, man, your friend, who is also another diabetic, just trying to keep that A1C below 8, my brother. That's what we try to do, so we don't want any of that stuff is what I'm telling you. But if you do know where to get it, let Pipe Bomb know, because his A1C level is a lot better than mine. As far as Harrison, I'm excited to see him, but I just feel like we need a veteran, so that's why I'm all for the Freddie Peralta trade, man. You got to have someone that's a little bit long in the tooth, that is not starting the game, but if shit hits the fan, he's ready to come in. Kind of like what Quintana did for us last year, man. Just kind of keep these young guys under wraps.
Yeah, Quintana was great, and I was kind of surprised that and you know how I feel about dudes returning to teams. I don't want Freddie. There's really not a whole lot of people that I would want welcome back that have left. I was kind of surprised that Savale went to Chicago and that the Brewers didn't try to make a move on him, knowing how young their rotation was, knowing that a lot of the veterans, that they expected to kind of anchor this rotation have been hurt and aren't coming back. So, that's neither here nor there. But yeah, I was shocked when Savale went to the Cubs.
Well, speaking of former Brewers and just guys being pulled, I did see Casey Myers was pulled tonight. I did see that Freddie Peralta was pulled tonight. So maybe we'll get one of them in Milwaukee. We do need a veteran presence, and even if they're not going to start in the postseason, just to keep these guys under fire a little bit, but not from the standpoint of we need them to go out and pitch, but we need you if you are called on to be able to go out to pitch because that's what Woody can't do right now.
Yeah, you'd need bodies to eat these innings. I think that there's going to be multiple days between now and the end of the season where you're going to see dudes like this Thomas Pannone. You're going to see Bryce Wilson. You're going to see DL Hall have to go out there, be left out there 4 innings, 5 innings, 7 runs allowed, 8 runs allowed. Like these guys are going to have, there's going to be certain dudes in your pen and in the starting rotation that are going to have to wear 1 or 2 or 3 coming down the stretch here as they try to save innings on these young dudes. They're going to have to sit there and either kind of go with the 6-man rotation or 5 and an opener. They're going to have to get creative to sit there and try to shave innings from these dudes, because the last thing you want is to put a inning cap on it.
Guys, Jolly G guys, we really like to keep these guys under this amount of innings here this year.
And you don't want to sit there and be shoving these guys in the lineup scared. Like, oh man, well, we're only in the beginning of September and we've only got 42 innings left. You don't want to be running scared innings wise when you're going down the stretch, trying to clinch and do all that kind of stuff, and then getting ready for the playoffs. You don't want to be filling out the lineup cards scared. So don't do that. Figure out a way to sit there and have somebody eat some innings, whether that's a veteran starter or just keep a big wheel of dudes out of the bullpen coming back and forth to Nashville all the time. But they got to figure something out. What, you frozen over there? Okay, yeah, you're frozen. So yeah, that's what I would do. But again, when it comes to Harrison, I think that he's going to be fine. I didn't buy the injury, so hopefully he can sit there and add a lot and eat up these innings for the boys. Got 3-game series coming up this weekend against the Los Angeles, Anaheim, anywhere in California that doesn't have a team. Angels this weekend. They suck. Not a very good team at all. So, obviously you're hoping for 2 out of 3. But we just saw the Brewers, take 1 out of 3 from the crappy San Francisco Giants. So hopefully they can sit there and get right and figure out what's going on here and figure out a way to sit there and make sure that they take this series, because that's going to be important for the boys. Fingers crossed, Am I putting it past Murphy to sit there and go out? I do think that he's going to go out tonight, Friday, and hopefully Saturday, and throw A lineups and actually play win tonight baseball. And then if you win today and tomorrow, then maybe you can pull back on Sunday and go back to what Greg used to do with the Sunday lineup. It sucks. It's going in there with one arm tied behind your back and trying to pick up wins. But I do think that Murphy and the whole win tonight mantra is out the window now. We've seen it all year long with some of these lineups, some of the dudes that he's going out there, Pannone, and come on, to sit there and save Drone, really? Okay, does that make sense? No, but I think it's just kind of push everybody back a day, make sure that everybody gets an extra day of rest. So I don't know, man. We'll see what happens, but fingers crossed they sit there, take at least 2 out of 3 against the Angels, and then we can sit there and come on back and be happy. Get back to some home cooking here. Doesn't last long because they got a little tiny little homestand, and then they go right back out to the West Coast. But Brewers need to make some hay. Their schedule coming up these next couple weeks is fairly easy, especially when you look at what the Scrubs and Greg have on their schedule down south. So this is a time for the Brewers to make some noise, give themselves, start padding their lead in the Central, because once it flips and it gets harder for us and easier on them, you want some more games in hand where you can sit there and have a Pannone day, and you can have some of the, pitch some of these dudes that aren't as good as what we're used to seeing here, and the normal dominance that we usually see. So it's time to make hay. It's time to create a gap, widen the gap in the Central, get some more games in hand, and then we could sit there and hopefully, within 2 weeks, if the Brewers get super, super hot and the Cubs don't, then it's pretty much a wrap. And, and then you're just kind of coasting to the finish. And the Brewers can do whatever the hell they want with lineups, with rotations. You can sit there and have, 2 or 3 bullpen days in a row and just, have a freaking bus around the clock between here and Nashville, and send the guys up, send the guys down, and save those young pitchers as much as possible. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, trade deadline is on Monday, so just a few short days away. Justin, right before he froze up, was giving you dudes that got pulled back from their starts. So there's going to be a whole lot of movement starting, I would imagine, starting today. I'm surprised it's been as slow moving. It's hard for me because, like, in high school and college and everything like that, I was a hell of a procrastinator. Now I'd rather just, sit there and get it done and move on. But it seems like all the teams and stuff, when it comes down to trade deadline time, they like to procrastinate too. Well, the finish line is very quickly approaching, so I definitely think moves will start getting made tonight, Friday. So it's going to be an interesting 3-4 days here to see, who comes, like who stays, who goes, ramifications, stuff like that. Be a whole lot of instant reaction and hot takes and all this kind of crap going on. So listen to the people you trust, and pay attention to those who you look at with the side eye. Just be wary that they might just be sitting there saying what they're saying for clicks, to try to get attention brought on themselves. But we'll see what happens, man. Fun time to be alive. Great time of year here, man. This season is awesome. Brewers still getting it done. It was an ugly series against the Giants, dropping 2 out of 3 against a crappy team. But, a whole lot of baseball left, man. Can sit there, bounce back real quick, make us forget about that, and get back to their winning ways and get right before the deadline here. So let's see what happens. For Justin, who I don't have little technical difficulties, I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in and listening. Justin in North Carolina, from Pipe Bomb here in the good land. Appreciate you all. This is a Cream City Media production. We'll catch you next time. Go Brewers.